What's happening, YouTube? It's so nice to see you again in the 1+Den of M. As you can see, I've made a few changes. I've been growing my comic book collection, and I found some pretty cool stuff, so hopefully that'll help with giving you guys some visual aids. Now, let's get to the good stuff, because this is going to be a series of 3 or more videos depending on casting announcements, and so you don't have to listen to me ramble for an hour. I'm going to break them up and post the links to the other videos in the description down below. While you're checking that out, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, because we have Loki coming up in less than 24 hours! And because it airs on a Wednesday, I'm going to try and get my reactions and theories up as quickly as possible. So recently we saw a release from Marvel for the upcoming slate of films that are being released from now until I believe late 2023. Now, the release itself was kind of ruined for me by Facebook, so although I did record myself watching it, I kind of knew what was coming, so I didn't bother doing a reaction video for that. But it has given us a lot to look forward to in terms of both new and returning characters in the MCU, and what was revealed to us is that the highly anticipated Captain Marvel sequel will actually be titled The Marvels, which is a very fitting title as there are many characters in the comic book universe that have used monikers involving the Marvel name. So the 3 confirmed Marvels that will be appearing in this film in the order of their MCU introduction are Brie Larson's Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, played by Teyonah Parris, and our Canadian newcomer Iman Vellani, who will be playing the MCU's first Muslim superhero, Kamala Khan. So hopefully, without spoiling anything for you all, I've gone through the histories of each character and compiled a Cliff's Notes version for anyone who is interested. So this first video is going to be dedicated to our first MCU Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who, as we know, appears in the first Captain Marvel film, and then later in the Infinity War post-credit scene. Then she comes back in Endgame to do, like, one thing. Anyways, she was introduced to us as somewhat of a human-Kree hybrid as seen in the first film. However, the character's introduction dates back to 1968, where she was introduced simply as Carol Danvers in Marvel Superheroes number 13. Now, the character was later introduced in 1977 as Miss Marvel, up until about 1982, when that name was taken over by Sharon Ventura. She was introduced as binary in the Uncanny X-Men series, and later she joined the Avengers as Warbird, and was finally introduced as Captain Marvel in 2012's Amazing Spider-Man, which seems to have been a nod to another female Captain Marvel's introduction. Now, all in all, the character has over 1,300 appearances since her debut almost 60 years ago in the comic books. Now, Carol's powers are pretty wild. We've got your basic enhanced or superhuman strength, stamina, durability, agility, and reflexes. Flight, which actually includes spaceflight, where she's able to survive the vacuum of space. Flash precognition, which is basically like a cosmic spidey sense or a hyper-awareness. Healing. Immunity to environmental contaminants, which comes in very handy when you're visiting alien worlds. Decelerated aging, an obvious immunity to radiation. Energy absorption and manipulation. Photonic blasts, which we did see in the film. Molecular manipulation and transmutation. And energy constructs. Now, I'll get more into the energy constructs in the Kamala Khan portion of the series, so be sure to stay tuned for that one as well. Now, there was a lot going on in the world when the character was first introduced to the Marvel Comic Universe back in 1968, such as the assassinations of both Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy. The first interracial kiss actually happened the same year on the original Star Trek series, and in true higher, further, faster fashion, both the Apollo 8 mission and the release of the first Boeing 747 also happened that year, making this character a very important part of history in her own right. But she's not the first Captain Marvel, and in fact, she's not even the first female Captain Marvel. That title goes to our second Marvel, Miss Monica Rambeau, who we first met in WandaVision. Now, Monica's going to be the focus of the part 2 of my video for the Marvel series, so be sure to check that out in the link below. As always, it means the world that you've joined me today in the 1+Den of M. Be sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons, because if I'm going to keep up with this, we've got a very busy year ahead of us. Now, we've seen each other before, so it stands to reason that we will see each other again. Thanks for joining.